Hello everyone. Welcome to this new series. In this new series, I'm going to try to review, like very important blog post. So as part of that, I came across this blog post. This is a very important one, like considering the Rust future. We all know, right? Rust is being touted as the most cloud programming language in the Stack Overflow developer survey year after year after year. And of course, we have heard that it is being used in Linux kernels and it's also being used in Azure or even Amazon. But but what is the real truth, right? We know like it's being slowly started to being used in industry, but is it worth the take? That's where this blog like this, like the analysis of what Google has done over here is really important because Google, it's a pioneer, right, in most of the things. So it's pretty important to see what their insights are in using Rust. So let's go over this blog post and I will share my opinion. So Rust fact versus fiction. 5 insights from Google's Rust journey in 2022. And note this is being released on June 27, 2023. I think probably 3 days back. Okay, so reaching version 1.0 in just 2015. Rust is a relatively new language with a lot to offer, yes. Developers eyeing the performance and safety guarantees that Rust provides have to wonder if it's possible to use Rust in place of what they have been using previously. I mean, I think they are talking about C++, right? What would happen if large companies tried to use it in their existing environment? How long would it take for developers to learn the language? Once they do, would they be productive? Okay. In this post, we will analyze some data covering years of adoption of Rust here at Google. Okay, looks like they have done years of research. At Google, we have been seeing increased Rust adoption. That's a great sign for Rust, especially in our consumer applications and platforms. Pulling from the over 1,000 Google developers who have authored and committed Rust code as part of their work in 2022, we will address some rumors head on, both confirming some issues that could be improved and sharing some enlightening discoveries we have made along the way. Okay. We would like to particularly thank one of our key training vendors, Ferrous Systems. I think these guys are the one, they also help in closely developing the Rust language as such. As we started our Rust adoption here at Google. Okay, so looks like Ferrous System helped them and helped the Google guys in getting up and running. If you want to know more, let's see what they do. Okay, they also give some training. Okay, cool. Okay, anyway, as we started our Rust adoption here at Google, we also want to highlight some new freely available self-service materials called Comprehensive Rust that we and the community have worked on over the last few quarters. Okay, that's interesting. So they have also developed an full, like Git book. Okay, I think this might be pretty helpful for others. So it's a training, 3-day training workshop notes, I guess. Yeah. Okay. The other thing, it also says Google joins the Rust Foundation. I think this is pretty old news. We know it. Anyway, probably I will also share this link in the video as well. No worries. Okay, comprehensive Rust that we and the community have worked on over the last few quarters. Okay. Rumor one. What have they done? Rust takes more than 6 months to learn. Debunked. Okay. That's great news. So many, like when I started learning, many people have said that it takes more time to learn, but they say it's a debunked myth. Let's say what they are saying. All survey participants are professional software developers or a related field employed at Google. Okay, while some of them had prior Rust experience, about 13%, most of them are coming from C or C++, Python, Java, Go, or Dart. Based on our studies, more than two-thirds of the respondents are confident in contributing to a Rust code base within 2 months or less when learning Rust. Okay, just that 2 months or less, that's good time. Further, a third of respondents became as productive using Rust as other languages in 2 months or less. Mhm. Within 4 months, that number increased to over 50%. Anecdotally, these ramp up numbers are in line with time we have seen for developers to adopt other languages both inside and outside of Google. So, what they're saying is like, what of the time they took, it's similar to other programming languages, which means Rust takes nearly similar time to learn as other programming languages. That's a great news. So, we have been said wrong all the time that it takes time to learn. Anyway, Overall, we have seen no data to indicate that there is any productivity penalty for Rust relative to any other language these developers previously used at Google. This is supported by the students who take the comprehensive Rust class. The question asked on the second and third day show that experienced software developers can become comfortable with Rust in a short time. Hmm. Okay. Great. So it looks like, like 1 to 2 months, 3 to 4 months. Nice. Time until confident writing Rust. So most of the 40%, or probably you can also think 27 plus 39, right? Within 2 months, they are taking it up. Yeah. Okay, that's a good news. So people who want to learn Rust don't think it's complicated. Looks like we can learn. Rumor two: the Rust compiler is not as fast as people would like. Would like. That's a confirmed news. Yeah, many people would have complained already. Some, like I have seen like in some blog or somewhere, it takes hours to compile. I mean, not for all projects. It depends on the scale of the project, of course. Slow builds, slow build speeds were by far the number one reported challenge that developers have when using Rust, with only a little more than 40% of respondents finding the speed acceptable. Okay, so 60% feel it's very slow. There is already a fantastic community-wide effort to improving and tracking Rust performance. This is supported by both volunteers and several companies, including Google, and we are delighted to see key developers working in this space, but clearly continuing and potentially growing additional support here would be beneficial. Okay, so they have some dashboard as well. This is interesting. So, which shows that they are serious about this, right? Which means definitely this is going to be improved. So that's even though it's confirmed, right? I'm pretty sure like down the lane this is going to be improved. Okay, rumor three: unsafe code and interop are always the biggest challenges. Debunked. So let's see what they say. The top three challenging areas of Rust for current Google developers were macros, ownership and borrowing, async programming. Writing unsafe code and handling C or C++ interop were cited as something Google developers had encountered but were not the top challenges. That's interesting. Like most of the times people say like working with unsafe code and interop were biggest challenges. That's been that's a myth it looks like. Anyway, these three other areas are places where the Rust language design team has been investing in flattening the learning curve overall as well as continued evolution. And our internal survey results strongly agree with these as areas of investment. So they want to like invest on macros, ownership and borrowing and async programming. I understand, like macros, though, like it gives like lots of functionality to us. It's still the syntax to use it, and to developing a macro is little bit complicated to say. Ownership borrowing, I think that's the root of the programming language, right? This Rust. Maybe it takes time, but I don't know how they are going to make it better. Let's see. Async programming, of course, it develops with lots of community and stuff. I think that will get better for sure. Overall, it looks promising, right? Rumor 4: Rust has amazing compiler error messages. Confirmed. Yeah, that's who says they don't give good error messages. Rust is commonly regarded as having some of the most helpful error messages in the compiler space, and that held up in the survey as well. Only 9% of the respondents are not satisfied with the quality of diagnostic and debugging information in Rust, which means 90% are okay with it. That's great. Feedback from comprehensive Rust participants shows the same. People are amazed by the compiler messages. At first, this is a surprise. People are used to ignoring large compiler errors, but after getting used to it, people love it. Yeah, it looks like error driven development or compiler driven development is taking a good positive effect on people. The following are excerpts from an exercise some internal Googlers have been doing to practice Rust solving. Advent of code in 2021 in Rust. Okay, they're trying to solve some problems from Advent of code. On day 5 of the exercise, we need to perform a search for entries within a table. Okay. The error below not only detects that our pattern matching on the result was missing a case, but also makes a suggestion for a fix. Pattern uncovered. Okay, they were just trying to match it, but they were not covering all the cases because it is returning an option. Okay. On day 11, we need to check for whether an element is within the bounds of a grid. The Rust warning below detects that we have a redundant comparison due to the fact that the types are unsigned and suggests code that could be removed. So it even suggests like there is no need for this comparison. Great. Of course, yeah, we all know like compiler messages are always good in Rust. Last rumor five, Rust code is high quality and it is confirmed. Yeah, who doesn't say Rust doesn't give us high quality? Of course, like it also depends on the people who write the code, but in general, like Rust always pushes us to write in good quality code. Okay, let's see what they say. The respondents said that the quality of the Rust code is high. 77% of developers were satisfied with the quality of Rust code. In fact, when asked to compare whether they felt that Rust code was more correct than the code that they write in other languages, an overwhelming 85% of respondents are confident that their Rust code is correct. Wow. And it's not just correct, it's also easy to review. More than half of respondents say that Rust code is incredibly easy to review. As an engineering manager, that result is in many ways at least as interesting to me as the code authoring results. Since code reviewing is at least as large a part of the role of a professional software engineering as authoring. As both we at Google and others have noted, developer satisfaction and productivity are correlated with both code quality and how long it takes to get a code review. If Rust is not only better for writing quality code, but also better for getting that code landed, that's a pretty compelling set of reasons beyond even performance and memory safety for companies to be evaluating and considering adopting it. Yeah, that's true, right? Like if the code review process and other things, our productivity is going to improve the code quality metrics, then why not? Like most of the times people go for this productivity and code quality metrics rather than performance in some cases. So I think it makes sense. Here we are getting performance, memory safety, as well as code quality as well. Okay, what is the conclusion? While over 1,000 developers is a good sample of engineers, we look forward to further adoption and a future survey that includes many more use cases. In addition, while many of the developers surveyed joined teams without Rust experience, this population does have more excited early adopters that we would like from a broader survey. Stay tuned over the next year for another update. Okay, let's see what happens next year. But one thing is for sure, Rust is a serious programming language. And if you want to take a bet on it, I think it's the best time. Learn about it. I think it might come in handy. Who knows? And then maybe we'll pay the good bucks, right? Of course, it's not only all about money, it's also the engineering effort that has gone into the programming language, right? It's a very novel programming language. So I think if you're a curious person, you definitely have to learn this or at least give it a try, right? You will understand what this is about. I'm into the Rust journey. I'm also learning. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm also learning anew. So let's see how it all turns out. Yeah, let's bet on Rust. Thank you. See you in another review next time.